Hey friends, Paul Frazier here again. I've never made a video about me as a listing agent and that process and what that looks like. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. If you are think of selling your house in Central Oregon, you are in the process of deciding how to go about it, who would best represent you, and what does the process look like. And there's some really interesting things, and you're going to find out there are different styles, and there's a process that people go through that I have recognized over the years, and I want you to know what to expect if you were to call me, and then how I would go about helping you in that process. Okay, and I think this will be helpful for you if you listen to the end of this video. So I have found that most of the time that people have a pretty good idea who they're going to hire, what they're, how somebody was recommended, or it's a face that they're familiar with, or maybe it was the agent that they used the last time when they bought or sold their home. And the reason that they're thinking about interviewing multiple agents is because they might learn something that they didn't know. They might learn something that they would use to sell their house, or they're doing their due diligence. And I'm actually one of those guys that I like to get all the information I possibly can, and then make a decision. In fact, when I was in the my construction business, I owned a flooring company. Oftentimes I would have one of my employees call and get an estimate for a floor in their house. And we would use that information that was gathered from our competition to fine tune what we're doing. Maybe they had some good ideas. Maybe they had better pricing or products that were great. And we would learn a lot from those estimates, okay? I think that's kind of what happens when you're calling and you're getting interviews with other agents. Now, if you call me and you say, hey, Paul, we want to talk to you about listing our house, I'm going to ask you, well, how did you come across my information? Is it somebody that knew me, that recommended me? Have you been online and did you find my Google business profile? Or a lot of people maybe see my YouTube videos, that type of thing. And depending on the answer, I realized that I'm either the favored person for the listing and I'm a good fit, or I'm just part of the due diligence process, okay? And so my questions would then follow in accordance with that. I would just say, what are you looking for? What kind of an agent have you used in the past? And how was that experience? What went right? What went wrong? Tell me the story. And then what are you guys doing? What are your goals? What matters to you? What are the things that you want to avoid the most while going through this process? And I also think that if you sit through 3 or 4 listing presentations, you're going to hear the same thing over and over again. The data is about the same. The numbers are the same. The comps are the same. And you're going to have different personalities, and you're going to have different experience levels, okay? So what I look for is, so that I don't spend my time just running around and giving away all my tips and tricks and all my insider info, I like to find out if I'm the favored person for the listing or not. And I like to work with people that want to work with me, and then we can really commit more to the process and sharing the goals and me understanding you primarily. And then I can really go about making sure you have a great experience. So really what I'm saying is I hope that if you're thinking about hiring me or calling me to talk about listing your home, that you do your due diligence concerning me ahead of time. And hopefully that will help you know if I'm a better fit for you and if we can work together. As I mentioned, I have a style. I have a style when I'm representing a buyer, and I have a style when I'm listing a property. And they're a little different, and one is a different approach. So you can find out everything about me that you want to know in a couple of different ways. You can watch as many of my YouTube videos as you would like. you're going to get a pretty decent feel of my style, how I talk, if you can put up with me or not. And then you can also really go to my Google business profile. You can search Paul Frazier, Bend, Oregon Realtor, and you'll find my reviews. Now you'll find tons of reviews on Zillow, but I quit using Zillow a long time ago, and I started putting my reviews on my Google business profile and other websites that I have. I think that's a really good way for people to get a feel. What are the consistencies that you see in my reviews? The common denominators. There's nothing worse than when you put your whole heart into a transaction and you go through hell and high water with people, whatever you have to do, and you spend hours and time getting to know people and helping them with the whole process, and then they can't figure out how to log into Google, to leave a review. Because I really value my reviews a lot. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it when somebody puts the effort to explain the journey that we went on. And so when you read my reviews, you might see some reviews that are kind of short. Sometimes people don't want to spend a lot of time getting to know their broker, and sometimes you become very good friends along the way. So kind of circling back to the listing presentations and so on, I really do believe that there's more to hiring somebody than just if they can do a good sales presentation. I will tell you that most of the time, any real successful brokerage oftentimes hire people that only do that one thing really well, and they do the presentations. And they have other agents that do they work with buyers or they work with sellers. I personally, I like to do the presentations. I like to work one-on-one with people. I'm not at a point where I have to have somebody that just does the sales presentation. Honestly, what I'm basically telling you is, like, I don't do listing appointments unless there's a commitment already there that a person calls me and says, Paul, we want you to list our house. That's typically who I work for. I don't spend a lot of time competing and trying to tell you, I think I'm the best guy and here's all the same information that everybody else already gave you. It's really an ego trip. I'm more interested in sitting down, knowing that we're going to work together and I can focus entirely on getting to know you. And I think that's what you should want, and it will work out better for you that way. I'm not going to come into your home and sit down and brag about myself and what I think I can do or what I've accomplished, because probably everybody on your list has sold hundreds of homes, and they're in a top tier level, experience level, transaction history level, top tier type of a broker. So we can just agree that all of your prospects are going to be successful and can do a good job. What will separate us is probably something like, more what I'm saying is, I would rather spend that hour listening to you and finding out your personal needs, fears, goals, and how I can best serve you. So I hope that's helpful. I doubt that I've never heard anybody else say what I'm saying right now. I've never heard anybody else say this. And I've even had members in my brokerage, when I'll tell them, hey, I turned down a listing appointment because I really did not feel like that person knew anything about me or even really cared. I was just a name they found online. And I don't want to spin my wheels going over there and just telling you how great I am. You can find out who I am and most everything about me because my social media presence is very transparent. And if you can't find out everything you want to know about a broker online, that's a kind of a weird red flag to me personally. What's the reason for the secrecy? We are in a very public type of a business, and I live a very transparent lifestyle, and I put basically my whole life out there on the internet at this point. And I think it's just part of me. I like to show everybody everything right up front and say, this is who I am, this is my life, this is my family, And these are my clients. These are the people I've worked for. Here are my references. Here's my transactional history. If you think I would be a good fit for you, then I'm on board, and let's go. Um, so I hope that makes sense, and I hope that I'm making myself clear. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and we can have these discussions, and I would look forward to that. In the meantime, look at my bio, and you can click on my link at mrbend.oregon.com, and you can find a ton of information about me and resources about Central Oregon. And I hope that you'll do that. So for now, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to meeting every one of you. Sooner the better. Have a great day.